something flipped. After perihelion 3, IATLAS suddenly produced hydroxyl absorption at 1.665 and 1.667 gigahertz, shifted from red to deep blue, sprouted directional jets, and showed a 4 arcsecond non-gravitational deviation. Meerkat, ALMA, and Hubble logged anomalies, yet Mars images remain unreleased. Will the December 19th Earth flyby finally answer this? Let's dive right in. Something changed, and not in a small way. Right after 3 I/ATLAS swung past the sun, astronomers started hearing whispers from the void. Faint, precise signals that made them pause. 2 radio frequencies, 1.665 and 1.667 gigahertz, both matching the spectral fingerprint of hydroxyl radicals, molecules born when sunlight tears water apart. But here's where it gets strange. For weeks before perihelion, every telescope aimed at it found nothing. Then suddenly, it lit up, like something had activated. Dr. Abbey Lowe at Harvard was among the first to analyze the data. His conclusion was careful, even cautious. The outgassing isn't violent, it's deliberate, measured. Those words sent ripples through the scientific community, because comets don't measure their activity. They erupt chaotically. And yet, ATLAS didn't behave like nature's accident. It behaved like something with rhythm. So the first question emerged. Was this an awakening or a reaction? When the Atacama Array in Chile cross-checked the data, the mystery deepened. Atlas wasn't where it was supposed to be. It had drifted, just 4 arcseconds, but enough to matter. That deviation meant one thing. A non-gravitational force was at work. In normal comets, the culprit is obvious, outgassing. Jets of vapor act like tiny rocket thrusters, nudging them along. But Atlas's tail had faded. Its coma was faint. There wasn't enough visible activity to justify such a powerful push. Dr. Lowe recalculated the force needed to move something that massive. The math didn't add up. If it had truly ejected that much gas, the sky would have glowed with a plume. It didn't. NASA brushed it off as a measurement artifact. But physicist Michio Kaku didn't. He called the silence a dangerous kind of comfort. Because pretending an anomaly doesn't exist doesn't make it go away. It just blinds us to what might be real. Soon after, high-resolution images arrived, not from NASA but from independent observatories. They revealed something breathtaking. Atlas wasn't trailing a single elegant tail like a comet should. It was covered in jets, streaming in multiple directions, some sideways, some toward the sun. That shouldn't happen. Solar radiation always pushes tails away. Yet one bright plume curved forward, as if expelled against the solar wind. If that sounds mechanical, that's because it almost looks that way. Multiple vents, acting independently, maintaining thrust even from the night side. The side that shouldn't have any heat at all. For the first time, astronomers began whispering the question no one dared to put on paper. What if it isn't a comet at all? Then came the color shift. Subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. What began as a dull reddish hue deepened into blue, then turquoise, then something so vivid it defied known comet chemistry. Normally, as dust escapes a comet, it scatters red light. Atlas grew bluer the closer it got to the sun. Some said it was due to fine particles, scattering light differently. Others suggested gases like diatomic carbon or cyanogen. But the timing was wrong. Why appear only then? Why so suddenly? It wasn't just a change in color, it was a transformation in character. An object once dull and silent had become vibrant, active, unpredictable, and in the silence that followed, NASA said nothing. By early November, frustration began boiling over. NASA had confirmed that the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter captured crystal-clear photos of Atlas as it passed just 30 million kilometers from Mars. But weeks went by with no release. The official line? Ongoing data verification. The unofficial suspicion? Deliberate delay. Dr. Kaku didn't mince words. If there's nothing unusual, why hide it? Why let speculation grow? His criticism found allies. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna formally demanded NASA disclose everything: images, telemetry, and Mars rover readings. Her request included a phrase that ignited speculation worldwide: unusual activity detected near Mars. Unusual activity. What does that mean? Light fluctuations, gaseous emission, electromagnetic anomalies? No one outside the agency knows. But the longer NASA stays silent, the louder the questions grow. Timing, in this case, might be the biggest clue. For months, Atlas coasted through the void, quiet, uneventful. Then, within just 5 days before perihelion, everything changed. The signal appeared, jets ignited, the color shifted, the trajectory bent. Too many coincidences, too much precision. Comets don't plan their behavior. But Atlas behaved like it knew when to wake up. Now there are natural possibilities. A buildup of heat under an insulating crust could trigger sudden venting, like a cosmic pressure cooker finally hissing open. But Atlas isn't a typical comet. It's interstellar. Billions of years old. Its surface should be clean, not dusty or layered. So what was it holding back? And why did it release it then? Maybe that's the real question. Was the timing an accident or a response? When early spectral data suggested a high nickel concentration, everything took a darker turn. Nickel isn't supposed to dominate comets. It forms in deep planetary cores forged by heat and gravity. If Atlas is rich in nickel, then it's either a fragment of a long-dead planet or something built with purpose. Because nickel-iron alloys don't erode. They endure. They're what we use for spacecraft and probes. No one is saying Atlas is artificial. But the data makes you wonder. If you were designing something to survive billions of years of cosmic radiation, wouldn't you choose metal over ice? Then came a twist that made even veteran astronomers uneasy. The hydroxyl frequencies detected, 1.665 and 1.667 gigahertz, sit alarmingly close to the legendary WOW signal frequency from 1977. And when researchers plotted Atlas's trajectory backward, it pointed within 9 degrees of the region the WOW signal came from. Not exact, but close enough to stir old questions. Is this just a statistical fluke, or have we been circling the same cosmic neighborhood twice in 50 years? NASA called it coincidence, but coincidence has a strange way of repeating itself in astronomy. As the object moved farther from the sun, its jets began to flicker, not randomly, but in a rhythm. Observers noticed that certain jets brightened when ATLAS faced Earth and dimmed when it turned away. Others seemed to respond to sunlight angles. Rotation can explain some of it, but not the precision. It was too clean, too synchronized. Dr. Loeb hesitated before publishing his words, but when he did, they echoed across the scientific world. If velocity changes occur without matching gas release, we might be witnessing controlled adjustments. Controlled. The word hung heavy, not as a declaration, but a challenge. Because to admit that possibility is to rewrite everything we think we know about interstellar objects. In a quiet move, NASA redirected Juno, orbiting Jupiter, to listen in. Its instruments caught a fleeting radio burst, short, faint, in the same frequency range as ATLAS's hydroxyl lines. It lasted less than 2 minutes. Noise? Maybe. Interference from Jupiter's magnetic field? Possibly. But to many it felt like déjà vu. The same pattern, the same band, the same silence afterward. And still, NASA refused to elaborate, only a brief statement acknowledging unverified data under review. Yet the very act of turning Juno's sensors that way said everything. They're watching, closely. Now everything leads to December 19th, when 3i Atlas will make its closest pass by Earth. It won't be a spectacle visible to the naked eye, but for scientists and enthusiasts, it's the most important test yet. If it's natural, everything should follow the script. Predictable brightness, expected motion, standard tail dynamics. If it's not, December will expose the truth. For once, this isn't just in NASA's hands. Thousands of amateur astronomers around the world will point their telescopes skyward, ready to verify or challenge whatever story is told next. This is what real transparency looks like, the sky becoming a public laboratory. At this point, the mystery isn't just about what ATLAS is, it's about how we react to not knowing. Dr. Kaku warned that when institutions hide data, they don't protect science, they weaken it. Avi Loeb added, "Ignorance disguised as certainty is the death of discovery." Maybe the real story here isn't out there in the void, but right here in how humanity confronts the unknown. Because Atlas, whatever it is, has forced us to face an uncomfortable truth. We still don't fully understand our own cosmic backyard, and that's both humbling and thrilling. Every anomaly could be a clue, every silence a message. But one thing is clear, this story isn't over, not even close. So, as we approach that critical December flyby, the question stands, is 3IATLAS just another ancient traveler? Or the first sign that we're finally being noticed? The answer might not come from NASA or any single agency. It might come from you, from the ones who keep asking, from those who still look up at the night sky and refuse to settle for silence. 3I/ATLAS has reminded us of something powerful, that discovery doesn't always happen in distant galaxies. Sometimes it happens right here, above our heads, challenging everything we think we know. Whether it turns out to be a rare comet or something beyond our imagination, what matters is that we stay informed, stay curious, and keep asking the right questions. If you value truth, science, and open inquiry, support this mission. Like this video, leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Galactic Breaking News. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next update as this mystery unfolds, because the story of 3 Atlas isn't finished, and together we'll be here when the next signal arrives.